Welcome eTeachers to the Google Blogger section of your training course. In this section, we'll show you how Google Blogger can serve as a learning management system or a virtual classroom for any teacher. This excellent platform is a very convenient way to share any of your online resources and digital content with your students or your colleagues, and to interact with them in a variety of useful ways. So let's get started. So first, type the URL for the Blogger website, which is blogger.com. The first time you go to Blogger, you'll see a Create Your Blog button, and that will take you to the familiar Google login page if you're not already logged in. Choose your Gmail account. The first time you enter Google Blogger, it will invite you to create a new blog. So here you can enter the title of your blog. Remember to keep it simple. You might choose a blog name that refers to your own name or the class that you teach. This is how you and your students will always refer to your blog. Now I'll choose a name that simply describes this course, so I'll call it eTeachers Training Course Blog. Hit Next, and then you can customize the link address for your blog. Again, keep it simple so students will remember it. Let me try eTeachers blog. Okay, this blog address is available, so I'll confirm the address by hitting Next. After that, you'll enter your display name, which shows up whenever you author a post or a comment. I'll just write Mr. Taylor here so that my students can recognize me as the author. When you hit Finish, you've completed the basic settings of your blog. Now you see the dashboard of your blog, and on the left-hand side, you'll notice several buttons. We are now under Posts. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a list of the posts that you created. Of course, we don't have any posts yet, so let's make one now. Click on this button, New Post, to create a new post. Now enter a title for your first post. Since this is your very first one, and presumably you'll be using this blog to share the resources, assignments, activities, and assessment with your students throughout the year, you might want to welcome your students to your blog first. So let's start with a simple introductory text post. I've already prepared a paragraph here, so I'll just copy and paste it. This is a very simple self-introduction, but I might want to change the format of it because it looks a little messy. So I'll select the text and change it to another font. I can also change the size to make it smaller, but maybe normal is better in this case. Now let me justify the text. Okay, it looks much better now. Of course, you have many formatting features here. I'll use the bold font for my name since this is a self-introduction. I'll also mention my website, eteachers.online, here, so I can actually insert a link there to let my students learn more about this website easily. In your own blog post, you can put a link that will lead your students to your school website or perhaps an online learning resource such as the reading program, for example. I'll just copy the link from our website and then click on this link icon to insert the address. Now, when I do that, Blogger might automatically recognize the URL address as a link. You can attach a link to any text in your blog. What I'll do here is test this link. As you can see, the link is working fine. The only change I want to make next is to tick this one, open this link in a new window. So then students can easily navigate between your blog and the other websites opened in different tabs. Okay, our next step will be to learn how to add an image to the post, and that will make it much more colorful and attractive. Of course, students love multimodality, so let's do that. This is an introduction post, so let's add an image of ourselves here. I'll upload a picture from my local device. I've chosen one of myself teaching, which seems appropriate for a teacher blog. Of course, you can insert any image you like for your students, anything that you think is suitable for a self-introduction. So select a picture you want to insert and, well, voila, the picture is inserted into your text, and you can click on it to adjust the size. Okay, this looks fine. If you don't want to use an image or a file from your local device, but you have one online or in your cloud storage, of course you can always insert the image by link. Let me show you how to do that. I've got the link to my picture here, so I'll just copy and paste it here. You'll see a preview window, and if you're good with it, you can just hit select to confirm your choice. Now let's add a video to our post. We've done text and image, now video. I mentioned my website in this post earlier, so I might want my students to know more about eTeachers Online by watching our introductory video. I'll insert it by clicking on this video icon. Now you can always upload a video file with this upload from computer, like we did with the image. But with video, this is not always the best option, as the file size may be too big, like it is here. Fortunately, we have another good option. We can insert the video from YouTube. So here, click search and then paste the link to the video here. You'll see the video that you've linked, so select it to confirm. Now you see the video appears at the bottom of the post. Okay, after inserting text, images, and video into our post, you might want to, on some occasion, insert audio only. Okay, so you may want to insert audio only of your instruction or examples. In this case, for example, an introduction to your class, your school, your hobby, or anything you want to share with your students as part of your self-introduction. But in general, in using your teacher blog, you might want to use the feature to share listening practice content with your students or to model speaking exercises or presentations. Okay, I'm going to insert an audio version of the video for my post, but unlike images and videos, note that Google Blogger doesn't allow you to upload an audio file directly, so here's a little workaround. Go to your Google Drive, click this plus icon or add, and choose File Upload, and now you can select an audio file to upload to your Google Drive. Once you've done that, you can right-click it, and you will see where you click to get the shareable link of the audio. Now remember to change the visiting permission to anyone with the link can view. Now copy the link and go back to your blog. Now if you hit this link icon and choose Create Edit URL to insert a link as we did earlier, you can just put it here. I'll type the text first and call it audio here. Okay, then you can paste your audio link and tick again, open this link in a new window. Okay, now that I have an audio linked, I'm ready to publish my posts. We've got text, image, video, and audio. But one more thing before we do that, please notice that you can control the commenting permissions for each post that you publish on your blog. Now I have opened the options menu here, and I see that the allow commenting feature is on. So for example, here my students can type text to introduce themselves as a comment in this introductory post. Okay, once you're good with the post, you can hit the publish icon and confirm it. And we are now back to the dashboard. If you ever want to edit your post, you can click on it here and you'll be redirected to the editing mode of your post. Notice that you can change the publishing date to your blog as well. As you know, In a blog, the most recent posts appear at the top, and then they continue appearing at the top. So they all appear in reverse chronological order in your blog. But because you can change the publishing time, actually you can order them any way you like. So if you want to move a post up or down in the blog, you can do that by simply adjusting the publishing date. Also, if you prepare a post in advance, you can just leave it as a draft and publish it later, or you can choose a publication date and time which is later than the present, and when that time comes, Blogger will automatically publish it to your blog. So that is very cool if you're well organized. Now, of course, at present we have only one post, but as you continue to use your blog over the weeks and months of the school year, you're adding new posts. So it becomes very useful for you and your students to have an easy way of organizing and searching all of the different content of your blog. So now I'm going to show you how to organize your posts by using the labeling feature. Okay, I've just created several more lesson posts so I can show you how to organize them. For this first post I created, I can click on the post and then on this icon, which is supposed to look like a little label, and I add the name Introduction. Next, select the label and then hit Apply. I can also add a label to multiple posts at once by selecting all of the posts I want to label and then going to the top right-hand corner here to click on the label icon. Let's say, for example, I'm talking about the topic of reading in the first 3 lessons. Then I can put a reading label as the name of one of my labels. And I'll select it and then hit Apply to confirm. And you can now see that that label is added to these 3 posts. When you are ready to see what your blog looks like, click View Blog here. Of course, students can visit your blog anytime by simply entering the blog address in their browser. And as the teacher, you can direct them to it whenever you've posted something new or some instructions or directions or content that they need. Blogger also gives you the option of sharing the post directly by hitting this share icon and choosing a method you'd like to use to share it, for example, by a link or by email. Of course, the commenting feature is one of the best ways to keep in touch with your students via a blog. Let me just demonstrate it as a primary or a secondary student. I can comment here with a brief self-introduction, perhaps giving a sort of model for my students. Hit Publish, and then the post will have one comment. And you can click on Reply to reply directly to any student's comments. Okay, if you always want to check or moderate your students' comments before they get published to the blog, you can do that very easily by changing the default setting. Go back to your dashboard and click on the Settings button. Scroll down to find Comments. Then under Comment Moderation, you can change it to Always, so that whenever your students leave a comment, you'll receive a notice from your blog, and then you can see if the comment is appropriate and you'd like to publish it. Now, this is an excellent feature when you want students to use the comments feature to ask them to complete a simple task or a homework assignment, for example, or to answer one of your questions. Because by moderating the comments, the students are not able to read each other's answers until you publish them yourself, so you can control the timing at which those comments appear on the blog. Okay, while we're at it, let's talk a bit about another useful setting of the blog, and that is reader access, which will give you control over the level of privacy for your blog. So please note, as with all e-resources, We want you as the teacher to be in total control of the level of privacy. By default, Blogger is open to the public, assuming that you want more readers. But even in that setting, the security is much higher than you'd expect, because only you and your students have your blog name and URL address. So it's highly unlikely anyone else will see it. But if you do want to step up to a higher level of security and privacy protection, this is how you do it. Go to Reader Access, and here change it to Private to Authors or Custom Readers. Now, if you choose Private to Authors, no one else will be able to read it. And for this training course, that is not a good choice, because then we won't be able to see it. So when you choose Custom Readers, which is what we recommend, you can now invite specific readers by adding the email address. So for example, you can add your students' email addresses, their parents, other teachers. Parents, of course, will be delighted to keep up with what you're assigning to their children on the blog. So that's a fun feature. As I mentioned at the start, a blog is a lot like a personal learning management system. It works very well for a whole school, for one grade level, or even one teacher and her classes, or one class at a time. It's very flexible. In this training course, you will be using the blog that you have just made to post and share what you learn. So if you'll be submitting your course assignment for a certificate, please be sure to choose one of the two privacy setting options. You can keep it public, and as I said, generally that's been very safe for the teachers that have used it. Or if you want a higher level of privacy protection, just add our eTeacher's email address to your reader list so that we can access it later. We'll show that email address here. Okay, that is it for the basics of Google Blogger. This platform provides you a very convenient and adaptable way to share, link, or embed all kinds of e-resources and online activity for your students. So check it out, explore all of the features on your own, and we will see you back here for the next section of your training course.